What's going on, y'all? We are back with another episode. It is season 3 of What We Ignore, and I'm over the moon elated. There's some great things going on. It is Black History Month, y'all. And so I have a very special guest. Her name is Skye. She is a marketing specialist. I'm ecstatic just for this interview, just because, we need more African American women that are in the marketing field. So, when Skye, reached out, was like, we are doing this podcast. I seen, the potential, and thank you, just for wanting to be a part of this month's Black History, episode. And so I genuinely appreciate it, Skye. And also, Skye, share with everyone, just anything that you want to introduce that they should know about you and your brand.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I want to say, I love your platform. I think it's amazing. And I'm just so proud of you. I know we just met, but I'm very, very proud of you. You're doing an amazing job. So some things about me. I am 24. I'm born and raised in Houston. I love marketing, love social media. I just kind of have a passion for it, and it was something that I stumbled into. I had no idea that, I would ever be in a field like this. I had no idea that starting my little blog, would ever get me so far. And I think that that's probably something that I really want to preface this interview with is just, don't be afraid to follow your dreams. Like, even if you're scared that it's not going to make you no money, because that's the first thing I said to my best friend when I was, starting my blog. Like, I don't know how bloggers are going to make money. And now, girl, I'm doing so great for myself. So, it's just all about the persistence and, just kind of striving for everything that you want, for sure.
Okay, I love that. And so, you said you're always encouraging, people, just to follow their dream. So what made you want to follow your dream and get into the marketing field?
Yeah, so basically, like I said, I started a blog. From the blog, I kind of started working on websites for other people. They saw my website, they thought it was great, and so I was designing websites, I was designing business cards and logos and social media graphics. I kind of just started getting my foot into some of everything. And
Mhm.
so I wanted to learn more about marketing. I'm like, I really want to add a lot of marketing behind my business. Like, I know I can go far. I'm very confident in myself and I just need to learn more. I need more tools. So I started applying for internships or, jobs and things like that. I ended up getting a call back from an entry level marketing position. I had no idea what I even applied for. You go through Indeed and it's just a bunch of little stuff here and there. I'm like, what is this? Like, who's calling me? And so basically, they hired me as their entry level marketing coordinator. Girl, I wore all the hats. Like, I did everything, like video editing, social media. I was writing emails, like everything that you could do. But I was really now looking back on that, I'm really happy about that. And I'm really proud of that because it gave me a lot of skills that I really needed, to get further into my career. And
Mhm.
so, at the time, it was very stressful, but now I'm like, man, without that, if my boss calls me and needs something right now, I'm like, I can take care of that. We don't have to call nobody else on the team. So it's cool. I like it a lot.
Wow, that is amazing. So, with that, like you being an African American woman in the marketing field, do you ever get into a moment where you feel like you've ran into, any adversity or, just because of, you being an African American and a woman?
Yes, girl. So like I said, I live in Texas, so I'm gonna preface it with that. Texas is very southern still, and so a lot of these companies, they have kind of still, that very Black women should not be in this space. That's how a lot of people feel. And unfortunately for them, that is not true. And I'm excited that so many Black women are making a way for themselves in this space. Some adversity that I think that I faced, would definitely be those microaggressions in the workplace, some racism in the workplace, even some sexism. I had a guy on my old team that would always tell me, oh, don't worry about, the actual marketing side of it. Just worry about design because design is queen and marketing is king and, things like that. Right. And so, it was very next level. But you have to kind of go through those things, to learn how to build thick skin, I feel like. And running my own business really helped me do that as well because people will see a woman, and on top of that, girl, I'm only 5 feet tall. I know you probably can't tell from the camera, but I'm very little. So, people like, when people start working with you, they don't always take you seriously, because just looking at you, they feel like they shouldn't have to have some level of respect for you. But that's the furthest thing from the truth. And so I've learned how to just really put my chest out there and be like, look, I'm okay with this, or I'm not okay with this. I need this done. If you can't do it, I'm gonna have to find somebody else who can, like just straight like that. And
Mhm.
it's not ever like that's my initial approach, but if I have to take it there, then I have to take it there. And so that's one thing that I want women to know in this space is like, you're gonna face it. Unfortunately, you are going to face it, but it's all about how you respond. It's all about how you react. I always recommend being professional, keep it cute. And there's very polite ways to tell people that they have you messed up,
I know
so
that's right.
keep it cute. But just don't let people get over on you, because these people will run you down and they will try to run you out of this field because Black women are great. They're amazing. Black people are amazing. And we are the back end of marketing, no matter how much anybody doesn't want to admit it. We come up with the trends. We're the ones that are creative. We're the ones that everybody's copying. And so, they hate it. But my thing is like, just always keep going. Like, always keep your head up high. I know it probably sounds cliche, but, now I'm blessed to be on a team where like my entire team works together very well. And I'm on a very diverse team. My bosses are amazing. The people that I work with are amazing. Like, and it just feels like I literally just, sigh of relief, like, because I feel like I've worked my way into a space where I just kind of demand respect, it's not something that I have to ask for. So yeah, yeah, it's a pretty
Look, I like your style. Yes, us
you.
short girls got to stick together. Because look, I'm 5'2", and I definitely understand where you're coming from, where people, might think that they can override you, with you being an African American and a woman, and then, like you said, you being short.
Oh,
So
like, I mean, yeah, like, girl, they think that like they can talk to you like a kid. I'm like, oh no.
yeah, none of that, no play thing. And look, that's the thing, us short girls, we be the main ones with the power, okay?
you know,
And the voice and demanding. So don't ever let it fool you.
Dynamite
Okay.
comes in a small package, okay? Like, don't let it fool you.
Yes. So how long have you been working in the marketing field?
Um, I've I'm really blessed to say this because I've actually only been in the marketing field for about 2 years, and I've pretty much doubled my salary since when I started. I'm probably making about 2.5 to 2.7 times as much as when I started in marketing.
Mhm.
So I started my blog and my own website probably around April of 2020. I got my first marketing position around August of 2020. And now here we are, February 2022. So it's been about a year and a half to 2 years now. It's been a very long and exciting journey. I've had periods of rest, I've had periods of being really busy. But I think that, those 2 years, they're about to turn into a lifetime of longevity. That's all that I can like say for myself, is that I know that like these first 2 years, they were difficult, but once you work your way through, you're through. So it's exciting.
Yes, it's a process, honey. I know it. So, with it being a process, I know you told me personally that you have, worked with celebrities. So how has that been for you? Like, networking with celebrities, and also elaborate, girl, like, share the details.
Yeah, so okay, I'm like kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I'm almost drowning in NDAs, but I working with celebrities is exhilarating. Like, that's probably the only way that I can put it. It's very fast paced. It's very exciting. Like, there's people that are like booked like 4 months in advance, and so you got to figure out how you can like work your way into their calendar. I think
Mhm.
that, like I said, though, that whole like thing about demanding your respect and just being who you are, it gets you so far. Like, most celebrities that I've worked with are very down to earth people. Most of these big businesses and like very common household names that we work with, they are actually very down to earth. The only thing that I will say is that these people have worked with a lot of people. So therefore, it's up to you to be the one that stands out. Like, a lot of times my boss will add me in on calls, because one of our clients is partnering with another call and things like that. And I have to jump straight in. Like, it happened today. I was on a call with one of our clients' partners. My boss sent me a text like, hey, I need you to jump on this other call when you finish with that. You know, I had no idea who this brand even was that we were talking to, but like, I'm sitting there looking at the notes on Zoom, like, you know, like, okay, yeah, like, you know, I'm kind of taking my own notes, and I just, you know, you have to jump in. You have to be fast paced with it. You have to always have a solution. And don't be afraid of making mistakes, is what I'll tell people. I think that when I first started this job, I was very nervous because I'm like, I have all these high end clientele, and like, I'm just this little girl from Texas, you know, like, I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. Like, how am I supposed to please these people, you know, or like, I don't know, like, what if I mess up? But like, even my mistakes have been, it's all about the solutions to your mistakes, you know. I think that in a field like this, mistakes are fine, but owning your mistake and having a solution for that mistake is ultimately what's going to get you, you know, where you need to be. And just like an example of that, one of my clients, I probably about 2 weeks ago, I got behind on my posting schedule on accident. I'm in the middle of the night, like, you know, crazy, like uploading stuff into our, you know, platform that sends everything out to us.
Uh-huh.
And I accidentally posted in the middle of the night, girl, at like 11:30. And I didn't realize until about midnight that I posted at 11:30, but I'm like, it's kind of got some numbers already. Like, I'm gonna just leave it, you know, whatever. I
Uh-huh.
wake up this morning and it had the highest amount of likes that we've had like in the past 2 weeks. Yeah. So we ended up discovering,
Wow.
right, you know, so we ended up discovering that like that middle of the night time is a really great sweet spot for us. Like, because you know they were up, and so now like we kind of do two a days on that page. Like, we post in the afternoon and we post in the middle of the night, and like the numbers are crazy, like, you know. So like I said, don't be afraid to make mistakes. I made a mistake the other day, like, somebody didn't send me the right files. I didn't post for a contract that's very big, like
Mhm.
$250,000 contract. And, you know, but I'm like, okay, what can I do? You know, we're supposed to post a story for them. I posted a reel. I made them a collaborator on that reel. Once again, it blew up. Like, it had so many likes, it got so many views. And so, you know, like I said, making a mistake is not a problem, but owning that mistake and saying, this is how I can fix it, that's going to get you further than anything.
I love that you talk about, you being able to, make those mistakes and also turn around and have an overall good outcome. And you didn't even expect that.
Yeah.
So that's just amazing. And then also you just being real and authentic about, sharing those experiences. Like, you're going to make mistakes and that's
Mhm.
okay. It's just about you learning from those mistakes. So thank you for sharing that. Because I know some people that might be, interested in marketing and their fear could be, even with you, you started your own business, but also, working your 9 to 5, might be scared to take that leap of faith, just because they're scared of making those mistakes.
Right.
So that right there, that's a perfect example. That was very perfect.
The mistakes are powerful. I'm telling you, the mistakes always end up being wins. It's just all about how you look at it. You know, it's all about your mind frame for sure. It's all about how you look at it.
And you also talked about, just change.
Mhm.
Um, so that right there just stuck out to me a lot because there's always going to be, change within a career field. And transitioning from, starting out at a lower level and going up to a higher senior level. So when I think of change, it's a process to get there, but also it's always such a good process
Mhm.
because you're learning and you're growing.
Yes.
So, what is some change that you want to see within, the marketing field?
Yeah. Honestly, and like, I don't want to sound cliche, but honestly, I would love to see more Black people in the marketing field. I would love to see more people of color. Like, I'm not sure if you're looking at all these, you
Mhm.
know, companies that are posting their logos with this kente cloth on it for Black History Month, and they're just like, Bath and Body Works completely like redesigned all of their stuff to have tribal print and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, guys, that's not, come on, like, that's not Black history. I can tell y'all don't have nobody Black on that team. Like, a Black person would have never signed off on that. Who's on your team, you know? And so
Mhm.
I'm, I would love to see us being represented more, and I would love for us to start working our way into this space more. And I'm very big on trying to help people get into this space. Like, my boss told me the other day, hey, like, we have an entry level position opening up. I reached out to so many people, like, look, send me your resume. Like, I don't care if you just graduated, please send me your resume, because I'm trying to get as many people into this field as I can, and I feel like that's something that I prayed over prior to being in this position, because before I had this position, I had a job before this, but I had the job pop. That was crazy. But, before that, I went through a phase of being unemployed for a very long time. And I was praying for a new job. I was praying for money. I was praying for success. And within those prayers, I was praying to be able to help people, while I'm in the position that I'm in. And it
Mhm.
was really cool because, like, I don't know, my sophomore year of college, I actually was an orientation leader for the incoming freshmen. And now, this new position that I just got open for my job, I just sent one of my old freshman students, I sent her resume to my boss. So it's like it all kind of comes full circle. And I love that. Like, I just want to make as much change as I can in the space. Even if I can't personally get you hired, my goal is to share as much of my knowledge as I can, because there's so much out there. And I feel like a lot of people do a great job of sharing their knowledge, but I feel like people also gatekeep, like people won't
Mhm.
really tell you the mistakes that they make on the job, like a lot of people don't do that, or a lot of people don't tell you, like, hey, here's some resources that you can go get if, or certifications you can go get if you don't have a degree to get in marketing, so I think that the biggest changes I would love to see is just people like us having these opportunities, because like I said, we're the trendsetters. Like, everybody, man, get you a couple 20 somethings, couple black 20 somethings on your team, it's like unstoppable. Like, they're dynamite, they're sellers. So I don't know. I'm like, I would love to see more people like us in this space. And it is getting a lot more diversified, but I'm like, we could still do better. There's so much work. And so I would love to also see, just more access to this for Black people, because if I hadn't started my own business, if I hadn't just took a leap of faith on Indeed, I would have never even known how vast the marketing field was. Like, I would have never known that you can have a job managing someone's Instagram or managing someone's TikTok or writing emails for someone. So I
Mhm.
think that, like, having that knowledge, having those resources, that's definitely something that I want to see just, in that space for sure.
I love that you're so open to helping people just within our age range, but also people of the African American community, just because we need those connections to get into those fields. And when people sometimes they make it and they don't want to help people get into those fields, it's really sad, just because we've came just so far as an African American community. And I think that we should always be more than helping and willing to help those get to that level, because majority of us were in those shoes at one point, looking for a job and trying to get that entry level job. So that is amazing that you want to open those doors for those people and just keep doing that. Like, I love that. We need more people that are willing to do that.
And you too, though. I'm like, you are helping people get into that space. Like, I don't know, even just this, like, it's a really big opportunity for me. Like, I want you to know that, like, this is so huge to me. So I'm really grateful for that. And like, I think that you're doing a great job of that too, just keeping all those doors open for everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. I really do. I try my best. So, you know, I always want people to think of their short-term goals, right? Like, I don't know, what am I going to do, 6 months from now or a year from now, too? So when you start thinking of, your short-term goals, where do you see yourself short-term wise?
Short term, and I don't want to say short term isn't super short, because I'm probably sending this to my boss. So please don't think that I mean super short term. But short term, I definitely want to continue growing with my company. I love them. Like, they really invest in us, and they really just make us feel, like we are a priority on their team. So I
Mhm.
definitely want to keep growing with them. I want to keep putting in so much work with them. Like, I know that I don't know. I know that I can go very far, and I know that that team can go very far with me on it. So I'm excited to be there, you know. But some personal things, I really want to relaunch my business at the end of this month. I'm hoping for the 22nd of this month. I got some photo shoots and some things that I gotta, set up. But that's my biggest goal right now, short term, is to kind of get Sky Says back off the ground. Like I said, I feel like I just have a lot to share, and I would love to, maybe get into like some mentoring, some coaching, or even just like, helping people with strategy, things like that. Like I'll be texting my friends about some ways to grow their social accounts, and they're like, "Oh my god, I feel like I should be paying you for this." And I'm like, "Y'all are my friends. Like it's like don't worry about it. Like I just want to see you do great. Like don't ever worry about that." So
Mhm.
I definitely think that, like since I have people telling me I want to pay you to help me, I'm like I think I'm ready to start working my way, into that space. Yeah, so I don't know. Those are my short-term goals, I think, for the year. I definitely just want to strengthen myself as a digital marketer and strengthen myself as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I love that business, I'm all about the having your business, girl. Like that's something really great. And also,
Mhm.
just growing in your field because you need that growth so that you can, venture off and, God be willing that this is something that you end up doing full time, like, by yourself, owning your own business. So I look forward to that. Um, and
Biggest
then
goal. I'm like,
go.
yeah, I'm like long term for sure. Like I want to start my own digital marketing firm. Like I would love to have my own company, help other people with marketing, hire a team of people that look like us. I would love that. Like that's honestly my biggest thing that I can see myself doing probably, later on in life for sure. But it's gonna be a while before I can get to that. I gotta grow some more, learn some more, But that idea is always in the back of my mind. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this when I have my company, or oh, I'm gonna do that when I have my company,
Well, hey, look, you say that now, and then just out of nowhere, it just happened. You like,
It's gonna
oh my
happen.
gosh, it's happening now. So, I gotta ask, what is something that you see yourself long term wise? Like, what is the end goal? Like, where you see yourself in 10 years, girl?
Ooh, 10 years, hopefully retired. I'm like, hopefully I made so much
Hey,
money
okay.
that I can kick my feet up. But like I said, I would love to have my own digital marketing firm about 10 years. I'm hoping that I can start doing that around that time.
Hmm.
Um, and then, I'm gonna say that I will. It's all about what you
That's
put out
better.
there. Will have my own company by 35. Um, and then also, I would love to give a TED talk. That's probably like my biggest dream. I watch TED talks all the time. There's so much information like that people give, and like I will literally be working, and I have like the entire like TED playlist on YouTube just going in the background. Like you learn so much, and like I feel like something about that stage, like something about that presence is just so captivating to me. And I'm like, I don't know. I like visualize that for myself all the time. Like I think about it all the time. Like anybody close to me knows that I'm always like, so what are you gonna wear to my TED talk? Like, when I give my TED talk, are you gonna be there? Should I make a spot for you? Or like, like what's the vibe? Like, are you gonna bring kids to the TED talk? Like, come on. And so, that's definitely like my biggest thing. I don't know, it's a really big goal of mine. I have been actively trying to, get better at public speaking and stuff like that so I can start putting that energy out there that that's what I want for myself. And so, yeah, I'm like definitely I want to be maybe not like a celebrity, but I want to be well known. I want to be
Mhm.
wealthy. I want to be, maybe a Forbes list business owner, 30 under 30. I don't know. But yeah, I have some big dreams for myself when it comes to this field and the things that I can do in it for sure.
Okay. Well, listen, you just keep speaking it into existence, and it's just gonna come when you least expect it. And you keep putting in the work just for those, small steps to get there. And it's all going to, fall through in God's hands. And, just make sure that you allow it to be a process. Don't
Right.
rush it. I know you, because
Don't rush
look,
it.
being in your 20 somethings, as I'm 24 too, and you like, oh, it gotta happen now, gotta do this by this. And you think like, oh, I got to accomplish this by 30. I got to get this, I got to figure out a way to get this money by tomorrow. So, yeah, you get into those moments. And so, hey, I understand firsthand, but definitely be patient and enjoy the process, because when you look back 10 years from now, you'll be looking on this podcast like, wow, I really did that. So
It's so funny that you say that. My grandma just said that to me this morning. She's like, enjoy your journey. I was telling her, like on Twitter, I've been following a lot of women in this space, a lot of women that are older than us, and I was telling her how, like, it's just inspiring to see everybody, who are still openly admitting that they're making mistakes, or that they're having trouble with change, or that, they're not used to what's going on in their life. And I'm like, it's making me a lot more comfortable and like relaxed to be like, okay, like these people don't have it all together, like it's okay to not have it all together.
yes, we all go through things.
Mhm.
It's just a step, that's the thing about social media. Nowadays, I'm gonna say we, because we all do, we show what we want to show, the good parts. We're not showing the behind the scenes, the crying, the tears, the emotional aspect, just all of it.
Late night,
And we
everything,
all know it's a process. It
it's
didn't
process.
happen overnight. Look, Oprah, she didn't become who Oprah Winfrey is overnight.
People are not lucky. Those people worked hard. That's what I always say. It's never about luck. It's always hard
Mhm.
work, for sure.
Yes, yes. Well, I have enjoyed this conversation so much with you today. Is there any advice that you want to give to just anyone in the marketing field, or just any general advice, just in general, just for someone that is starting out, career wise, or, just trying to get into a job?
Yeah, so I think that my biggest, probably like 2 to 3 pieces of advice would certainly be always be yourself. Like, do not ever be afraid of being yourself. Like my current position, it's really funny when they were interviewing me, they're asking for my portfolio, and they're asking for, like, some of my writing and stuff like that, because I told them I had a blog. They're like, oh, can we read it? I'm like, guys, like, it's not professional. I'm like, y'all, like, it's targeted for my 20 somethings. I'm like, I'm talking a lot of BS. Like, it's really funny sometimes here and there. It's awkward sometimes here and there, because the blog was just all about that, like, journey of being in your early 20s. And so I sent them over the files, and like that was the one thing that sold them on me. Well, I won't say the one thing, but that was like something that was so big for them, like they loved my writing, like they thought it was hilarious. And
Mhm.
it really gave me a big push that I needed, all of my work that I had done for my own business. And with my business, I was just being myself all the time, like, so just always be yourself. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to be yourself in these spaces. Like when I was at work today, I was at work just like this, hair like this, wearing my Adidas tracksuit, like I'm at work, I'm always myself all the time. So don't ever think that you have to kind of water yourself down to be in any of these spaces. And I would also say, just always apply yourself. Like, don't be scared of a job because you don't have all the requirements. You know
Mhm.
what you bring to the table. You know who you are, even if you don't have a degree, even if you don't, whatever the case might be, you know who you are and you know what you have. And in some way, you are very, very dope, and there's nobody more dope than you. So just bring that to the table. Like that's how I feel. Just always bring your best self to the table, and there's nothing that can go wrong. Like, it's really amazing when you just really realize, like, just going with the flow is the biggest way to get ahead, I feel like. And yeah, just like I said, don't be afraid of making those mistakes. Don't be afraid of things getting uncomfortable. um, and don't be afraid to learn. That's my biggest thing too. Always be willing to learn. Don't think that you know everything. If somebody tells you some pointers, or gives you some advice, don't be afraid to take it. Just take everything as constructive criticism and keep going. I think that that's probably the biggest thing that's gotten me, ahead in my career, is just sticking true to myself. And yourself, you change. So learning yourself and continuing to learn yourself and stick to
Mhm.
that is something that's very important in a field like this, for sure.
I agree 100%. Yes, girl, I think you might change the whole podcast to "Don't be afraid."
Don't be afraid. Don't be
Amazing.
scared. That's like my number one message is do not be scared. Don't be scared of nothing. And honestly, not even don't be scared. The biggest piece of advice that my cousin gave me before I started my own business was do it while you're scared. Like I'm telling her,
Mhm.
like, I'm so scared. Like I don't know if anybody's gonna tune into this, and I'm so scared. I don't know if like I sold digital planners. I'm like, I don't know if anybody's gonna buy this. I'm putting in all this money. I'm so scared. Like I said that so many times when I was first starting, and like every time my cousin, who was like a big sister to me, she was like, do it while you're scared. And girl,
Mhm.
every time I did it while I was scared and it worked out. So, do it while you're scared, do it while you're broke, do it while you're afraid. Just do it. Whatever you want to do, just do it. Just start somewhere because I promise you it's going to pay off. Like, I can't even believe that it's been less than 2 years and this is where I'm at. So
Mhm.
it's going to pay off. Just do it. Don't be scared. Put yourself out there. Be yourself.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, for joining me today and just sharing your overall experience. I know so many, women as well as African American males that want to, be in the marketing field, and just hearing your overall experience and the steps that you have taken just to get there has just been really amazing. It's been real, and I really appreciate you sharing this experience, because I know sometimes people need to hear these stories, just to know that there are baby steps to get there. And you really gave a message towards the end just about don't be afraid, because y'all, it's not going to happen overnight. There are steps. It is not, because if it did, then everybody would do it and it would be easy.
And it would be
Okay.
easy. You gotta pay your dues. I'm telling you, like once it pays off, it's gonna pay off big. So you are so right about that. Right about the baby steps and everything for sure.
Yes, yes. But thank you so much, Skye, for just
Having me,
sharing your
girl.
experience. I
Like
really appreciate
I really appreciate you for having me. You have no idea how big this is for me. Thank you so much.